Right then, the Escort.
Yeah, RS2000, picked it up myself. Now, I'll have to refresh my memory about it, because I had a long chat with the family that I picked it up from, and the way I remember it, only the way I remember it, is that the gentleman who owns the vehicle was the second owner and had it forever. Bought it when it was not very old and had it forever and ever. It's absolutely 100% genuine. It's never been raced, rallies or messed about with by the looks of things. It's got an immobiliser system on it, which is useful to immobilise, I believe. Condition is as you see it. Yep, it wants paint. What do? Do you paint it all over? Do you do in bits and pieces? Being black, you could blow it in here, there and everywhere. But at the end of the day, I think the car is so fashionable, so much in demand and so valuable, I think you've probably got to paint it. You could say a downside is the Webasto, the sliding roof, but it's what we done, you know. In sporting cars particularly, if you could afford it, you had a Webasto. That was £1,000, that roof.
Was it?
Then. So, all right, you can say it shouldn't really have one, and it'd be better if it weren't there. I can't disagree with that, but it is. But the car itself is such an honest motor, really genuine, from lovely, genuine people. So I'd recommend the car. But of course, there are some issues, as we've seen, on paintwork and such like. Nothing terrible, but like wheel arches and bits and pieces like that. The worst bit is probably this area here, as you can see. But I mean, it's easy, isn't it, really? You replace it, don't you? It's just a simple job, really. It's straightforward. The rest of it is very, very solid. I think there's a little bit the other side on the wheel arch as well. But what it boils down to, there's a little tiny bit, look, a little tiny bit on just about every panel. So you could blow a few bits in and make it look very respectable, but if you want it looking really nice, you've got to strip and paint it. And worth every penny doing it, of course. Just check around this side. Yeah, this side's much the same. So basically there's two rear wheel arches, isn't it? That's really what it wants. That's the only sort of structural bits, I suppose. Well, it's structural, is it? But, you know, cosmetically replaced parts. Other than that, it looks really nice. I'm not too sure about the wheels. I don't know enough about them, whether they're standard or what they are.
I believe so, yeah.
They've got standard centres, haven't they, and such like. The interior's nice. It sounds sweet. Really, really sweet, really, really fit.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, I drove it from Thorntondale yesterday, didn't I?
Did you?
Actually drove quite well.
How'd it go? All right.
Yeah, all right, to be fair.
Disappointing, aren't they?
They are a little bit, aren't they? I know, there's a massive hype about them, and then you get in them and you're a bit like... To be fair, joking apart, it did actually go very well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put a 1.2 micro up against it and I bet I'll beat you.
I know, I probably would.
I would. Yeah.
I know you probably would.
But she's a lovely
I can't remember
car.
mileage, well, guarantee it anyway, but I think it was relatively low.
Right.
I photographed it all anyway, loads of photos
I
inside.
can't remember offhand, and I can't get in it because we've locked it up for security reasons. But whatever it says, it will be right. And there's some history and stuff with it and that sort of thing. But above all else, lovely family. I picked it up from them. They've had the car for years. It's the way to buy an RS2000.
Isn't it? Good.
Okay.